Welcome to the BF Anderson Technical Index for August 30th. Let's start off here with the put-call ratio. If you notice on the attached report, the Fear Greed Index has now entered extreme greed, which is, a time for, maybe just kind of sit back a little bit. Might be let this thing cool down. This market's getting awfully hot, but it has been a great week for stocks. I mean, the market's doing well. The economic news is good. Things are positive. But remember now, sentiment, which is what we're measuring here, investor sentiment, which is fear and greed, is a secondary indicator. Trend lines, or the trend, is the primary indicator, and of course we're going to get into that. But if you notice here, as of yesterday, the put-call ratio has now entered the greed quadrant, and we're not into extreme greed, which would be down here, but it would just kind of tell you that you might want to just kind of take it a little easy here. If you're not in the market and you're sitting on a lot of cash, you might want to do a little buying, but be very careful here. Now back to trends. Now, one thing about trend lines, and I've been using trend lines now for several years, is that you're looking at the facts today. And I say here, trend is where the rubber meets the road. I mean, this is, the ultimate truth is the actual price of what's going on. So what I have here is an indicator called trend lines, and it's a weekly graph where I plot the 35-week moving average. Now, this has been back tested by my friend Mike Centolo with Cabot. And basically the rule is this: we're going to look at two indexes. One will be the NASDAQ and the other one will be the S&P. Now, the way the indicator works is that if you get 2 weeks, consecutive weeks in a row where you're below the trend line, you're on a sell signal. So we go back to 2015. You can see here, now each line represents a week. So you can see we had many weeks below the trend lines here. Again, we had a slight rally back above, but then right back down in again to the trend line. Now, at the time, you can use 20/20 hindsight and look back and say, well, that was the market bottom and that was the end of the bear market. But at the time, I really think you have to make the assumption that this could be the beginnings of a bear market. I mean, after the last 20 years, if you ignored signals like this, well, in 2000, stocks dropped dramatically. In 07, 08, stocks dropped dramatically. So, it would have been nice to know that this was going to be a shakeout, because this was just nothing more than a shakeout of the sellers. You get rid of the sellers, and then boom, we take off. Now, as of we got the buy signal on this indicator in May of 16, which was about the time of Brexit. Now, we had a small period of time in here where we were below the line, but as you can see, ever since the 516 buy signal, we've been 2.3 years into an uptrend that is really very strong. Now, back here at the beginning of the year, we got into a small correction, which basically challenged the trend line, but you didn't break it for 2 consecutive weeks. Now we're making an all-time new high. Now, at the same time, we're looking at the S&P 500 the same way. This is a weekly graph, 35-week moving average. Again, you see the same problem back here. And the thing about these indicators, or any indicator, there is no such thing as a perfect indicator. There's going to be a requirement that you just have to use your judgment. But the main thing is you want to deal with the chart in front of you as it stands today. You don't want to get your opinions involved in what's going on in the news or the media. You want to leave your ego out. You don't want to try to forecast the future. You just want to look at what is happening today. And this is all about probabilities. We are making a probabilistic statement that as long as the trend lines stay positive, your investment strategy should stay positive. So you should stay aggressive when you have a trend line that looks like this. So the other point is, too, the market is making new highs, and I'm going to point that out in the next graph. This is the Value Line Geometric Index, which is an equally weighted index of 1,700 stocks, and it truly does represent the average stock. Well, you can see for the first time last week, we are at an all-time new high on the Value Line Geometric Index. So the message here is when the average stock is making an all-time new high, something has changed, and probably changed for the better. So let's get into the top 5. Again, this is a watch list. This is just to tell us where is the strongest areas in the market right now. Well, semiconductors, advanced micro devices, just smoke up a chimney. I mean, this has really been a strong stock. Here's a stock, and I must disclose, we own this stock. The company is called Carvana, and you can see all-time new high, smoke up a chimney. This company is doing something quite revolutionary. They have developed a vending machine for used cars. Now realize the used car market is about a $700 billion a year market. It's a big market. And if you kind of also think about the concept of these tariffs, if the price of steel is going up and the price of, with the Mexico deal, the price of automobiles are going to, and new cars are going to be going up, that could cause a real catalyst for more used car sales. So this company is aggressively expanding. They also give you a 7-day money-back guarantee on your purchase, which I think is quite interesting. Now, Turtle Beach, again, continues to make the list, but I am seeing a lot of weakness here. It is pretty much broken down below the 50-day moving average. This would definitely be one to watch, but I wouldn't be buying it at this time. Too much weakness. Now, here is another stock that we've been involved in called Illumina. This is DNA testing, which is a medical process for biotechnology, and the stock is just really doing well. Here is another stock that we own, that we've been in for a while now, called Square, and Square is pretty much revolutionizing the cash register industry or electronic payments. In fact, it was reported just yesterday, and you can see the stock hit an all-time new high on this, that their app, which is called Square Cash, there have been more downloads of Square Cash than PayPal. So thank you very much. Let me know if you need any help. Thank you very much.